And they're censoring the protests. So are there actual big protests going on? UK protests? Wait, why is nobody talking about this? What the fuck? They're getting censored? We have it bad here? Well, let's take a look at some of these.
Rain has really dampened things down. Until a short time ago,
They're gonna melt.
There were hundreds and hundreds of people here protesting outside the Brook Hotel. We're on the outskirts of Norwich, very much against the fact that asylum seekers are being put up inside that hotel. Then on the other...
Big mistake, bro. You got people that are homeless, but you're dealing with asylum seekers? You're worrying about asylum seekers? Why don't you give asylum to the people that are living in the country that can't fucking afford shit? Why don't you give them asylum first? Then maybe you can think about the guys that live somewhere else. That's just me.
The side of the road, on the other side of the roundabout, was a group of people very much in support of those people who've come to this country, many of them on small boats. They actually left already. That was a planned ending at 3:15 before the rain really began. But actually, it had been going pretty peacefully. They were separated by the main road until, according to reports, someone from those supporting those inside the hotel crossed the road. They had their face apparently covered in a balaclava, and that caused an enormous surge of fury, with the protesters on this side pushing against the police, shouting.
Surely nothing bad will ever come of this, right? Surely there's no way this is going to turn into a problem, right? There's
swearing,
no way.
And then there was a surge maybe 100 meters or so up the road, and it appeared that someone was going to be arrested,
good. I thought
and that possibly a decision was made
I was worried for a minute.
To do that. Since then, we've heard people coming past, beeping their horns in support.
It's like Kingdom of Heaven, bruv.
You can hear that now, but far fewer people here than there were. Now, I did have a chance to speak to some people, many reluctant to go on camera, and certainly those supporting those in the hotel, none of those would speak to us. But I did speak to a man called David, a father of an 8-year-old boy. He's from a couple of miles away in Cossey in Norwich. And he said that he's a veteran. He knows a lot of people who are homeless, that they have nowhere to stay. He himself cannot get a dentist. The people in this hotel are able to get a dentist. He said
they're completely right. There shouldn't be any. If you can't afford to take care of people's teeth, why the fuck are you bussing in people from other countries? What are you doing? What are you thinking? You got homeless people there, and you're dealing with some other random ass people coming in from nowhere. A migrant, a fucking migrant. What the fuck does a migrant got to do with it? They have dentists? Yeah, there's 3 of them in the entire country. I mean,
as well as the food that they have inside that hotel.
I always thought that's the reason why a lot of British people watch my stream, is they saw my teeth and they thought I was one of them.
They're given meal tickets, he said, to be able to go to the restaurant across the road, and he just said that simply wasn't right. He also talked about being on the bus.
Why do so many countries worry about asylum seekers and not their own citizens? I'll never understand. The reason why is because it makes Karens feel good about themselves whenever they vote to help these people. But the reason why they feel good about themselves doing it is because they live in a world of privilege where they never have to experience the zero-sum environment of resource allocation. So in their mind, everything is okay and things are fine. So they're okay with giving away other people's money to migrants because it doesn't matter to them, because they're never going to face any consequences on it. And so that's the reason why it gets voted on. And of course, cheap labor, and obviously there's other types of exploitation that occur that way as well. I think that's a good point. Yes. That's not the reason. It absolutely is. It 100% is. Look at any of these weird protests. It's always, not always, but it is primarily Karens.
With his 8-year-old son, and some people he believed to be asylum seekers staring at his son. He said it wasn't right. He said that many of these people abide by different laws, different rules to the kind of thing happening here. So that is what we've been hearing from here. And this, of course, against the backdrop of protests that we've seen in Epping, in
Suicidal empathy? Yeah. I don't know how you can avoid that problem. Like, because it would be a really good thing if we could figure out a way that we could just stop people from voting based off of empathy. Like, just stop doing that. It's illogical. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't help people out. It's usually short-sighted. And also, like, by the way, in a lot of cases, it's not really empathy. It's what makes a person feel good in the moment of making the action. That's really it.
That began last week, about 18 arrests.
No, I don't think it's only women. I think that men do this too.
Hurt, but also others in Canary Wharf.
Can't generalize.
Also in Southampton, in Nottinghamshire. But here, certainly things starting to calm down.
This is why I've said many times, I try my best to, advocate for less voting, less people being able to vote. And you have this. Oh my God! Wait. So you're telling me? Hold up. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that this happened and is happening right now, and they just randomly happened to do that censorship law on the internet at the same time? Yesterday, huh? That's crazy. Ooh. Look at that guy. Oh, hold up. That guy's only 2 fingers away. I told y'all it was coming back. And it's 60% back. I said it was 60% back, bro. Like, it's on its way. Nah, he's just a Serbian. Kanye, he's just a fan of Kanye. Is that it? Yeah. I don't think something as bad as Hitler would repeat itself. Well, the lucky thing for you is that all of the bad things in history have already happened. Yeah, there are, if you look at history, obviously we've already gone through all of the bad things, all of those horrible moments and everything. This is a thing of the past. Nowadays, maybe you might have a few people killed, it's like a shooting of like 20 people. But other than that, nothing bad could ever happen again. That's it. By the way, I think that if another really bad thing like a Hitler level moment happens, it will be worse than probably anything that we have historically ever experienced. It will be worse than Mao, Pol Pot, Hitler, Stalin. It will not even be close. Yeah, it's in the Bible. Yeah, it's coming. I'm not sure that's possible. Okay, that's just what I'm saying. It's gonna be AI. Yeah, I'm telling you, like, that's all right. Well, just clip what I said. Clip it again, and we'll see what happens. So in the rest of Europe, the same will happen. Yeah, technology's improved. It's definitely possible. I don't think that you guys understand. There's one thing that a lot of people don't really understand is the systematic. If you look in history, how many times has one group of people systematically murdered and exterminated another group of people? That's like the whole thing. Really? That's like the whole thing. That's pretty much what they do all the time. Yeah, too many to count. Yeah, all the time. Do you really think that that's never going to happen? You really think that's the reason why you teach people? That's the reason why you try to avoid having situations like this happen, because it pushes you closer to having another one of these bad moments happen. That's it. Holding a cross is pretty fucking hilarious considering Christianity. I love people that say that. Holding a cross is look at Christianity. As if Christianity, see, you have to understand that the Bible is, like 1,000 pages long or something like that. But there's a few excerpts in it that says you have to love everybody, which means that you're not allowed to have borders. You understand that with any religious text, whether this is the Bible, the Torah, or the fucking Quran, there's going to be statements inside of those books that are violent and that encourage violence, and there are going to be statements inside of these books that encourage peace. Every single one of them is like this. That's how it is. The Romans invented the cross? I don't know. Love your neighbor? Well, you could say these people aren't your neighbor. You know, anyway, so let's see here. Again. How do you know this is a protest that's not in America? It's crazy, isn't it? It's really crazy. What are the odds? I don't know what the fuck they're saying. I don't speak British.
Thousands of people have gathered in Birmingham,
Yep.
the second largest city in the UK, for one of the most overt displays of discontent in recent years. The participants from all walks of life came
That's a lot of
together,
fucking people.
proudly waving Union Jacks and St. George's flags,
Yep.
making it clear and decisive that they, the usually silent majority, would no longer stay quiet. Shouts of protest against Keir Starmer, along with the slogan "Free Tommy Robinson Now," echoed through the city centre.
I thought he got let out.
Indicating that this was not just a spontaneous protest, but a call for unity from people who feel the country is being stifled by censorship, injustice, and betrayal from its own leaders.
Yeah, I think that's the way a lot of people there feel. This is old.
The issue at hand
This
is
is
no
an old
longer
video.
about
It's a day ago. It says this is from a day ago. This is happening now, right?
left-wing or right-wing politics, but the voice of the people demanding the right to free expression, fair treatment, and accountability for those in power.
See, this is another big issue, is that there's this sentiment, and I don't live here, so I don't like making sweeping statements. Well, I do it all the time. I just did. But I try to avoid, whenever I know that I'm doing it, making sweeping statements. But it seems very obvious that governments in certain countries in Europe have done things to intentionally obfuscate the amount of crime that migrants are committing in order to make the public not understand that, they are committing crime. It seems very obvious this is happening.
For a long time, concerns about biased media, a justice system operating under double standards,
Yes.
and the erosion of core British values were either ignored or mocked. But that is no longer the case.
Of course.
What is happening in Birmingham is part of a broader awakening spreading across the nation. The truth is, Britain is waking up, while the leadership class is clearly in disarray. Now, let's watch the video. But before we do, don't forget to like and
The
subscribe.
longer that these people go without getting their needs met, the more of them that there will be. And eventually, there will be enough of them for them to exercise. And also, the longer they go, the more extreme they will be. Like, I'll look at this like, so there will be a point in time where, apparently these people come over in boats. Right now, the statement is turn the boats away. Eventually, that statement will turn into sink the boats. I guarantee you. Clip it and wait and find out. And there it is. And the longer that you go without listening to people like this and giving them a degree of, of fucking credibility, the more extreme and radical they will become.
Subscribe to the channel so you won't miss what's coming next.
And also, the more of them there will be.
As we were marching through town there were a few chants for Tommy Robinson. And I just wanted to say a few words because...
The Israeli flag's already a sign? Yeah, I know.
I know what he's going
So we have neo-Nazis siding with Israel now? I think that in general, there is a... The sentiment is against primarily, I would say, migrants that are coming from Middle Eastern countries. And so that's going to be, that is one point of alignment where a lot of people in Britain and also Israelis are going to have like a concerted viewpoint on.
The difference is, I was in prison for 9
Middle East, oh, and Africa too, yeah.
He's in prison for 9 months in solitary confinement. I cannot even imagine or begin to fathom what he is going through right now. So, let's have some chanting in Tommy's honour while he's in prison.
I don't know what Tommy Robinson did. I have no idea. I knew at one point, but I forgot. Sorry, but the Brits deserve this. They're the ones that caused the Palestinian problem with their white paper. They should fix this on their own. You're right that the British were instrumental in drawing the lines of Israel and Palestine. That's my understanding in 1946 or 1947. I think that's definitely true. And they do bear accountability for that. I would say that the majority of, and this is my opinion, right? Is that the majority of interventionism that Europe and America has done around the world has been, I think it has been more of a destabilizing force than a stabilizing force. It's ancient history now. Yeah, and also, by the way, here's another issue. And I agree with you. I agree with you in principle, and I think that it was bad. But you're not going to tell a guy that's 25 that he has to live with a blood debt because his grandfather's, father did something stupid. You're never going to be able to win the hearts and minds of people by categorically condemning them as bad actors because of the nature of their birth. So it's stupid. Yeah, exactly. Like, none of the men in this protest were responsible for drawing the lines of Israel and Palestine. So why should they accept and be okay with, damn, bro, they got slots right there, just like on the street. Holy shit. Not even his grandfather's father, but the aristocrats that ran the country 100 years ago. Yeah, that's also another good point. So a Palestinian child should be left holding the bag? It's not about should or not a should. You're still living inside of the realm of Reddit, of what's justifiable, what makes sense, what's fair to you. This is something that transcends Reddit arguments and Reddit logic. This is survival and preservation of what they believe to be their country and their own existence. It doesn't matter who's holding the bag. It doesn't matter what's fair. All of that stuff goes out the window. It's not real. Punishing citizens for decisions of past kings is beyond retarded. Yeah, has that ever worked? I mean, isn't that the reason, like one of the reasons why I would say, obviously, the Nazis came to power? I think that's a big reason why. It's because Germany was a shithole after World War I. That's it. Yeah, how'd that work out? Not so good, huh? Who's a wanker? Who's a wanker? Keir Starmer? Oh, yeah, people don't like him.
Fighting back! Fighting back! Fighting back! grooming gangs, vile predators who prey, they rape, they traffic and destroy lives.
I think this is one of the big reasons why this movement is gaining a lot of momentum, by the way, is because it's been able to successfully engage a lot of women because they've been able to control the moral high ground of how is it justifiable or acceptable that you have these rape gangs or something like this. Again, I don't live there. I'm not an expert in this, but I hear this a million fucking times, and I hear it enough to where even if it isn't true, to these people, it certainly fucking is. And so if it's happening, they effectively create the moral high ground by being against that stuff. That's the reason why.
The elites overlook it, they look the other way, they provide no protection for English girls.
And I think that's what's really engaged and supercharged this movement. Is the usually, a lot of these types of movements, like especially like these nationalist movements, like I'm going to be honest, they're primarily men. It's like 95% men. And I think still in the case, it is the majority men even now. But the difference is that it has engaged a lot of women now because there has been a compelling argument made for advocating for women's safety. Base, pissed off women at least? Yes, exactly.
English girls don't matter to the elite scum in this country. They matter to us though, they matter to us.
Yeah.
In Lothburn, Rochdale, Telford, thousands of English girls have been violated, their innocence stolen, their futures shattered by these organised gangs. And what do our so-called leaders do? They cover it up. They silence the truth for their multicultural fantasy. I don't want a multicultural fantasy. It doesn't work. The experiment failed. I want an English for the English. An England for the English. But we say no more. Our daughters deserve safety.
You don't know what's actually happening. The reason most of this started is that Pakistani Muslim men were targeting thousands of girls under the age of 14 and forcing them into prostitution. Well, that's not really what the problem is. And before you clip me, listen to what I'm going to say. It's not the fact that they were doing it. It's the fact that acknowledging, addressing, and talking about it was considered unconscionable. That's the reason why it was a problem. If it had just happened and then the people who had done it went to jail and it was openly discussed, it was the fact that it was hidden, you weren't able to talk about it, and again, they were told, basically, the implementation, I think, was that it was like a bad thing to discuss. It was allowed to continue. Yes. And so that's what really radicalized people. Yes, obviously them doing it is bad. Of course, it's, wow, what a surprise. It's bad to do that. But it's more than that. As considered a hate crime? Yes. If we talk about it, you're racist? Exactly. And I think that eventually, if you tell people they're racist for talking about something, eventually they're going to agree with you. And that's a very scary thing.
And our daughters deserve justice, finally. And it doesn't stop there. Islamic terrorism ravages our cities. Manchester, London, Westminster Bridge.
Can I be racist,
our
please? Not in chat.
Red with the blood of the English. Bombs tear our concerts, knives slashed through our markets, and our people live in fear. Who can forget the 22 young people that died at the Ariana Grande concert? Who can forget that? They were children. They came to our country and slaughtered our kids. There should be no surrender to them. We should...
Exactly. She's completely right about all this. The it's Islamic terrorism, not Islamic. Islamist. Here's the thing. Here's what I find to be really fucking ironic. You don't see Dubai or Saudi Arabia taking these clowns in. Because they fucking know. They know what they're up. They know what the hell is going on. They don't want to deal with that. Absolutely not.
Back every single time and tell them they do not belong in these lands. They belong to me and to you. Our cities, once beacons of British pride, are now battlegrounds, and we're told to accept it as diversity. We will not accept it. We will not not let terror define our children's futures. Not in a million years. Our young Englishmen and women, the heartbeat of our nation, are being cut down by foreigners who have no place in these lands to begin
She's
with.
mad.
From leaving
Holy shit.
to death in broad daylight by jihadists, to the countless stabbings on London streets.
And this is also another issue. I think there's definitely a religious component to this too, where you have a lot of people who, again, like the idea that you can't criticize Islam, you can't criticize behaviors of people who are Islamic, etc., like the praying in the middle of the street stuff. This is obviously going to radicalize people. It will massively radicalize people. And by the way, whenever I see some random person that's praying in the middle of the street, stopping traffic, do you want to know where that doesn't happen? It doesn't happen in Dubai. It doesn't happen in UAE, as far as I know. I bet it doesn't happen in Qatar either. And I bet it sure as fuck doesn't happen in Saudi Arabia. Why the fuck do they put up with it whenever the countries that are that religion don't? And the reason why, I'll tell you the reason why. It's because they're afraid of being seen as racist. That's the reason. And the moment that these people stop being afraid as being seen as racist will be a very, very bad time. And I want to say that the reason why I've been advocating and talking about this a lot is that I think that the end result of this behavior is going to be a mass radicalization of the entire population to an extent that they're able to exercise a military action to do something that could be unspeakably evil. And I can see that happening. I can see this brewing right now, and I can't see how anybody can't see that. You're playing the radicals? Yeah, I don't want to. That's the thing. Why are you doing propaganda for them? Let me, real quick, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about this, right? What propaganda do you think that I'm spreading here? Chat's full of Israeli Zionists, and you're a terrorist too, Zach? I'm a terrorist? Okay. Then why... why... And this is what I'm saying, right? Is that you have no problem looking at people as Zionists and they're Israelis, talking about them being bad, but now you're talking about being Islamophobic. See, this is exactly what I'm discussing. This is the reason why people are radicalized. It's because of people like you. You're the reason why they're radicalized. And this is what's going to keep happening. Idiots in chat? Yeah, I wasn't really reading chat, and so like now that I'm waiting for this person's response. Islamophobia, that's all? What have I said that's Islamophobic? Explain to me what you think that I've said that's Islamophobic. Keep yapping? I could say the same for you. What have I said that's Islamophobic? Now it looks like we're not going to get a response. What a surprise. It's because it's not Islamophobic at all. It's got nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with the religion. You understand that me making the example of Saudi Arabia and other Islamic countries not allowing this behavior is me actively not being Islamophobic. This is me saying that these people are the ones who are the bad actors, not the ideology. Because if it was the ideology that created the bad actors, then you would logically assume that every other person inside of this ideology would be doing the same thing. But it's very clearly not like that because many other places don't have these issues. You can't defend your arguments. You can't defend your accusations because they're not real. You're just trying to put... And also, like, by the way, every religion is open for criticism. I don't understand how we have anti-Semitism and we also have Islamophobia, but for some reason, whenever you criticize Christianity, this is somehow seen as socially acceptable. Either all of them are open for criticism or none of them are. This is an outrageous double standard, and I think anybody can see it.
Jews are dying at the hands of those that despise us. We will deport them all.
Yep.
Every week we hear of another knife attack, another life lost, another British family broken. This is not cultural enrichment, it's war on our people. We are at war right now. We are at war. Who's going to win this war? Is it going to be the mighty British or the foreign scum that doesn't belong here? It's the mighty British! Sorry.
What do you think about this? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Moving on to other notable news. Imagine a Labour MP just faced one of the most heated questioning sessions in Parliament this year.
Is this about?
What began as a routine committee hearing quickly turned into a tense political battle. The questions raised were no longer merely about seeking information, but gradually turned into accusations. And the answers soon began to crumble under the mounting pressure. Whether you support the Labour Party or not, this spectacle is certainly worth watching. But before we continue, I just have a small request. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the British Insight.
I'm not sure. I think this is something else.
Free.
Yeah, I just want to look at the protests. I'm going to link you guys the rest of the video here, and you guys can watch the rest of it if you want. British Insight. And this is an issue of late-stage capitalism, inequality, and nothing else. You think it's because of capitalism? What the fuck does this have to do with capitalism? Like, it has nothing to do... Like, this has nothing to do with that. Like, I mean, I guess you could make... Okay, so I see where you're going. You're trying to make the abstract argument that it's because of capitalism, because the companies that are pushing for this, because they want to make money, right? They want to, like, have cheaper labor and stuff like that. Sure, but, like, I would argue that's not capitalism. That's corporatism. That's corporatism controlling the government. So that's not really capitalism at all, in the same way that you can have, like, there are a lot of bad elements of every political or economic system. That doesn't necessarily mean that the political or economic system is bad. And so that's really, I think, the big difference here that a lot of people aren't really seeing, and I wish they would see. But I guess we're going to have to wait and find out. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. Anyway, let's go back over. I'll look at a few more of these here, and we'll find it. I'll see if there's any more posts about this on Twitter as well. Let's see if I can find it. UK protest. So there's a massive protest going on, and I did not even know about it. Holy shit. That is insane. Another day, another protest against unvetted illegal migration in the UK. Yep.
This is going to be a national protest from the country.
This is, by the way, the most effective way for these people to shift the public tide, and this is what worked here in the United States, is to ship a lot of the migrants and these people that are coming into the country, is to ship them to the places where there are large consolidations of people that want them to be there. Like, for example, whenever they sent all of those illegals to Martha's Vineyard and it totally shut down the entire place, or they sent them to New York and it shut down the entire place, I think that the moment that you make people live with the consequences of their actions is the moment that they will realize that their actions are wrong. But whenever people can only understand it in a conceptual way, they're going to be totally okay with it. Yeah, back to Narnia. It's going viral because it's not going viral because information's curated. It's a bubble. Imagine if this happened in Iran, China, or Russia. It would be on every tabloid. No, actually, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't, but there's a different reason for that. Is there a migrant hotel for you? Yeah, there shouldn't be any migrant hotels in the entire country. It's ridiculous. What's this here? Oh, this is from last year. This is July. This is from yesterday. Yeah, there you go. And people nowadays on social media are so insensitive, they only hear what they want to hear. Yeah, definitely. And want to alligator Alcatraz of our own. Well, the problem is that the government is letting it happen. And I think also this is another big issue that I think that a lot of people in the UK need to realize. There are a lot of people in Europe in general, but in the UK specifically, that are okay with this migration. You need to win them over. You need to figure out a way to make them realize that they have the wrong point of view. And if you can't do that, you're probably not going to make enough progress. You need to bring more people over to your side. The reason why the sentiment in the United States has changed is because, again, of those actions of sending all of the illegals to different areas, right? But how it's censored as fuck, I don't know how. I don't know how. All I'm saying is that I think that's the solution. And I think this is something that will happen naturally on its own, but obviously being able to do that will make it happen faster. So yeah, it's that simple. And it's literally, it's internally sponsored unconventional warfare. Their own government wants it to happen. Yeah, I've heard a lot of conspiracy theories about the government wanting it to happen in order for them to justify having some sort of legal control, right? And this is, again, I mean, even Elon Musk knows this, right?
The mass immigration is insane and will lead to the destruction of any country that allows unfettered mass immigration.
True.
The country will simply cease to exist.
True.
At the end of the day, it is a numbers game, a numbers situation. If there are 8 billion people in the world, and let's say you're a country of...
It's AI? Nope,
50 million,
it's just
60
Elon.
million,
Yeah.
Or, for a medium-sized
Elon.
country, but even for a country like the United States, which is 350 million, given that there are 8 billion people in the world, it only takes a few percent of the rest of the world to move to the country to where it is no longer that country.
Clearly.
A country is not its geography. A country is its people.
Obviously.
This is a fundamental concept that is truly obvious. I mean, if you took the people of Italy and you
He's saying the same shit I was saying. Yeah, exactly, yes.
teleported the people of Italy
Duh.
To say
This is obvious.
some part of the United States, it would still be Italy.
Yes.
But
True.
if you teleported a bunch of people from some other part of the world to Italy, where they're telling people no longer because they've been teleported to America.
Let's take advice from the immigration, from the guy who's repopulating the world by having children with influencers on Twitter. Yeah, what he's saying is true. Yeah, what he's saying is true. I agree with it.
And
yeah, I don't know what what that has to do
region
with what he's saying, but
would
like,
no
yeah.
longer be Italy. It would be that other country. A country is its people, not its geography.
There it is. Well, there it is, right? That's true, but he doesn't follow what he's saying. Again, it's about the idea. Not everybody is going to live up to what they say, and I think that's definitely true. I think that the H-1B visa program probably should be limited if that's what you're trying to discuss. I think so too. But in a general sense, yes, obviously this is going to be a continual thing, 100%. And his words would have weight if he wasn't so unstable and high on drugs. I don't know about him being on drugs at all. But anyway, so let me see if I can show you guys this. This is crazy. Mass immigration is wrong. It's definitely a big culprit, and right-wing people are easily frustrated, especially mass immigration of uneducated people. Yeah, I think that the mass immigration stuff is radicalizing people at an extremely high rate, and I think that by the time the government realizes it and they correct, it's going to be too late, and people will already be too radicalized.